Hey, it's Mary at Calumet Knits with another technique video. This video I will show you how to slip stitch the ends closed. This technique is very common and is used in many patterns, and it creates a nice finished edge to your tube. I've knit a tube with waste yarn on both ends. So let's look at how we do the slip stitch for the cast on edge. The cast on edge has this half stitch that it creates, and we need to finish this stitch in order to have our tubes be square from end to end. Follow the waste yarn tail through the last two loops, this loop here and this loop here. So using your crochet hook, go into those last two loops, and then we're going to yarn over with our tail and pull that through. This finishes off that stitch. So you can see it looks like the other stitches now. And then the last thing we'll do is just remove the waste yarn tail through those same two loops. This will make it easier for removing the waste yarn later. So now this end looks exactly the same as the bind off end. With the tube folded and our tails on the left side, I'm going to count over half of the number of stitches. For my example here, I have a 32 needle machine. Half the number of stitches is 16, so I will count over 16 stitches, not counting the tail stitch. Insert your hook into that 16th stitch and the 17th stitch and pull the 17th stitch through. Now we're going to alternate between the top and the bottom, picking up one stitch at a time and pulling it through. And keep alternating between the top and the bottom until we get over to the left side and the last stitch, which we will pull all the way through. By using this method of slip stitch, we will create the same column of stitches on the two sides of our tube, from the top of the tube down to the bottom of the tube. If you don't complete that half stitch, or you start on the wrong stitch when you start to actually pull stitches through, you won't end up on the same column of stitches on your cast on edge and your bind off edge. So here I am getting down to the last two stitches, and when I pull the last stitch through, I will just keep on pulling, and it will pull the tail all the way through and secure that last stitch. Now I can go ahead and remove my waste yarn. And this is what our slip stitch edge looks like when we are finished. I've completed the other end, and you'll notice that both of these edges have a nice finished look. So let's look at that column of stitches just to verify from end to end. So you'll notice that right here in the corner I have my V stitches opening up to the cast on edge, and if I follow that column all the way down to the opposite end, it meets up in the opposite corner perfectly. Here is a finished X closure headband that I made with today's sample. I hope you enjoyed this technique video, and I will link to some of the projects that use a slip stitch technique. To help my channel grow, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'll link below to some of the places you can find me. Thanks for watching.